Yep.
Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it.
Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. I'm glad to be back. We did our first show, I believe, last Friday. But, we had a couple of technical difficulties, but we are officially back. We are banging and we are ready to roll. What did that first song on Raekwon's first album say? It's been a long time. So you know how we do. Let's get into let's start the show off right.
You are now tuned in to Real Truth and Power, the show that uplifts the community with health, wealth, and knowledge of self. Here's your host, Everett Winchester.
All right, welcome to the Real Truth and Power Live podcast. I'm blessed to be here. My name is Everett Winchester. We got some powerful topics to talk about today, so I'm very excited. Before I bring in my co-host, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in over the past couple of years. It's been hard. I've been busy, but we are blessed to be here. Peace and blessings to my UNIA brother, Kevin Nelson, race first. Before I get into it, we got to pay the bills. Let me play our sponsor for tonight. Black owned. All right, support Black owned. That's a Black owned clothing company. They do logos and all kinds of stuff. So you definitely want to get at them, and we'll be playing that video, that commercial throughout the night. So let's get into the first topic. We got a couple of topics to talk about. I want to get into this first topic real quick, and I'm going to bring in my co-host and introduce him. But let's see where I got this thing at here. Let's go into it and bring in my host now, Brother JRICH. Hold on one second.
Peace
and blessings. Race first, my brother. Race first. What's up with you, Brother JRICH?
Nothing much, man. How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm staying alive. I'm staying alive. We got a couple of topics to talk about today, but I wanted to start off talking about the issue we had with the brother Kanye West. I'm a little disturbed with the Black Lives Matter t-shirt. He's been saying some things of late that's really been hurting my heart and soul. He's always off. He's always on. But I wanted to get into it with the Black Lives Matter. Now, first of all, the business part of it, I can't comment on. I don't know how they're running a nonprofit. But it was more than that to me. It was the hashtag and the meaning of, what Black Lives Matters was supposed to be. We matter, police brutality, and things of that nature. And he flipped it all around, him and that sister, Candace Owens. Oh, my God. She's awful, brother. And they put on White Lives Matter. That just stuck me to my core. It hurt my heart. I want you to go in a little bit before I comment on it about that. And as you can see, the title, Sambo and Coon-Ye. Now, when we talk about Sambo, a lot of people call these sellouts Uncle Tom. But it wasn't Uncle Tom. That's how crazy we are. It was the Sambo that sold Uncle Tom out for saving and uplifting the black women. You see how crazy they flip it on us. But I want you to go in on your thoughts about that situation of them wearing the White Lives Matters t-shirt.
Let me ask you a question, man. When somebody says Kanye, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Music. The first thing that comes to my mind is music.
Okay.
Well, why you say that?
I say that because most of the time now, whenever you see like a link or something about like Kanye, first thing you think, oh man, you know what I mean? What this brother done said or did now, you know what I mean? And the furthest thing that you know what I mean that comes to mind, unfortunately, you know what I mean, is college dropout. You know what I mean? The furthest thing that comes to mind is The Rock. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Most Def, Kweli, and it's gotten to like the point now where it's just like, man, you hear Kanye and you just automatically, you just start shaking your head like, man, you know what I mean? Like me personally, I'm gonna be honest with you, like I haven't clicked on any links, man. You know what I mean? I seen like the picture because it popped up on my timeline. I seen, you know what I mean? I think my wife maybe had like the news on or whatever, and they was on there on TMZ talking about how he was going off and everything. But for like the most part, man, I think that when you mention Kanye, the biggest thing that comes to mind to me is mental health. And I say that because, and I didn't click on any, let me start again. I didn't click on any of the stories or any of these other little things because to me, it's another black man that's in pain, that's hurting, that actually needs help. You know what I mean? But instead of getting him that help, you know what I mean? For me, as some of the things that, you know what I mean, I see him doing, some of it I think is for attention and some of it I think is for help. What they're doing is giving him the attention, but not the help.
Mm-hmm.
So I refuse to click on like these links and let these people eat and get money, you know what I mean, and get advertising and all this other stuff off of this man's pain, off of this man's misery, because what he really needs is help. That's what he really needs is help. And I think that when we start talking about Kanye, we need to use Kanye's platform as a call for brothers to go and get help, to go and get real help, to get evaluated, to get, you know what I mean, mental health. They keep saying that there's a stigma of mental health in like the black community. Did I say that, you know what, if Kanye, and I think part of it is probably connected, he might have music coming out soon or going on tour or doing something. I mean, he don't just do these stunts for no reason. And if that's the case, then we need to have black mental health professionals to show up at the venues where he's at not to protest, but to actually get help to people, you know what I mean, that actually need it. Because if you're supporting someone like this, then you actually need to see what it is when someone is actually having a mental breakdown. When somebody is actually going through something mentally, but don't know how to reach out and ask for help. And we see this so many times in our youth. You know what I mean? That the suicide rate, man, is growing within our community with our youth because they're in pain. They need help. They don't know how to call out for help. And when they see somebody in his position that's going through that same pain, but don't know how, and he's just acts out, then they think that the way to get the attention is to act out because they see him acting out. You know what I mean? They don't know how to express what it is that they're actually lacking and what it is that they actually need. So when I think of Kanye, I think that, you know what I mean? I think it's a very sad situation, man. It really hurts my heart to see Kanye sometimes, man, because out of the what he really has, and it's one of the things that what he has is money. That's it. He's actually the poor guy. You look, you know what I mean? Society will put him up and say like he's rich, but he's not really rich. What he is poor. All he has is money. He
Well, let
doesn't
me.
have.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Let me go in for a minute because he was going off a little bit because I don't want to. I'm not going to use mental abuse. I mean, mental. The mental condition
Yeah.
as a cop out for him. He was talking about the Jewish community. And I'm going to get on us. I'm going to get on us Negroes real quick. We got to go in. It's real truth. We're going to be real. I'm going to go in on us Negroes real quick. He got put off Twitter. He got put off Instagram and Facebook or some kind of ban for a minute for talking about the Jewish community. You see how they do it? You see how they do it. Here's a black brother. Say what you want. He's married to a white woman and he's disrespecting the culture, saying white lives matter. And we still buy his music. We still support him and all of that stuff. So we got to take a little hit on that too. Bump that. You know what I'm saying? We got to take a little hit on that too. This brother has disrespected us, but yet he ain't banned from anything when he talks about or disrespects his own culture. So what do we have to do to stop that? Because, in a sense, we're supporting the coonery. Oh, man, Kanye, he makes good music. So I'm going to give him a pass. And don't get me wrong, I was there for a minute, not giving him a pass, but hoping his mind would get right. Hoping that he'd come back home. But I don't see this brother coming back home. I don't see him apologizing. Here's a black man that went on national television bootlicking Donald Trump. You know his exact words? I love you, Mr. Trump. I love, man, he's Sambo like a mofo. And so I don't want to you can give him the mental health issue, but I think this brother is going to do whatever he has to do to appease his audience. And unfortunately, I don't think his real audience is our people. I guarantee you that more white people buy his music than black people. I guarantee you he's playing that role so he can get more hits. And this sister Candace Owens, brother, oh my goodness. I mean, what can I say? It was a comedian that said, man, somebody put something in her mouth because my zipper stuck. I mean, how hard can we be? This sister is disgusting to me. She's awful. I don't even look at her as a black queen. I look at her as a vulture, a vicious, nasty sister. For her to say some of the things she's doing and to laugh about it like it's a joke. You have to understand where I'm coming from when you talk about the Black Lives Matter. Again, I'm not talking about the organization. I'm just talking about the slogan and what it means. We're getting murdered and killed out here throughout history. Me and you grew up born in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? So we understood it was common cause. But now as things start going, now we're not having it anymore. But we know the youth may not be having it, but we know this is something that's always been happening since we've been younger. So what I want to ask you is, what do you feel about these two people? Are you going to give them that pass on mental health? And this sister, she doesn't have any mental health issues. I just think she's outright disgusting. Oh my goodness. She could have been finer than Vanessa Williams, but as soon as he opens her mouth, she looks nasty than a mofo. I can't stand that sister. She's disgusting, brother.
The going back to what you first started off with like the support. Um, I don't believe I've bought anything from Kanye since College Dropout. You know what I mean? That joint was, you know what I mean? That was it. You know what I mean?
God
Jesus
dang, wasn't
walked.
that his first album?
Exactly. 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 I mean, to be honest with you, man, and I hear you, and I'm not disagreeing with you or whatever, but I think that at some point, man, we have to stop allowing like the same media, you know what I mean, to allow like this division. They pump up this division, you know what I mean? That's the only reason why they air the things that he does, you know what I mean? They only air this stuff, you know what I mean? So let me give you an example. So while Kanye is doing his little thing and everything, and everybody's, oh, Kanye is doing this, Kanye is doing that. Meanwhile, you know what I mean, the government is talking about how they're going to get rid of you know what I mean, how they plotting and planning on how to get rid of Medicare. You know what I mean? But nobody's paying attention to that because everybody's looking at Kanye. The thing about Kanye, I don't support him. You know what I mean? I haven't bought any of his music, like I said, since like what was that? That was like early 2000s, 1999, something like that. I can't even remember. You know what I'm saying? Haven't bought his music. I don't buy, you know what I mean? I don't buy Yeezys. I don't buy any of his clothes, any of this other stuff. You know what I mean? With Candice, I just whenever I see her, I just see like a lot of pain. I just see a lot of pain. I don't know what it was or who it was that did this system wrong or whatever. I just see a lot of pain in her eyes. And I think that she does the things that she does and says the things and all this other stuff for money, for the fame, for the attention, you know what I mean, for the 10, 15 minutes. But in the end, the lives and everything that you know what I mean, that you've touched in the lives and the things that you've said and done that have affected people will last much longer because once you put in that grave, you can't take that money with you. That money is just going to move on to somebody else. But the comments that you make, the culture that you help, you know what I mean, build, you know what I mean, all that stuff is going to stay. And I was thinking about this today when I was out on my walk or whatever. Is the in the entertainment, you know what I mean, business, you know what I mean, you're going to be built on one or two foundations. You're going to be built on a strong foundation, or you're going to be built on a weak foundation. And if you're built on a strong foundation, you're only going to go, you know what I mean, one, two stories high because you're going to stick to your principles. You're going to stick to your morals. You're going to stick to your people. You know what I mean? If you're on a weak foundation, then they're going to build you up. They're going to build you up because they know you're going to fall apart. And when you fall apart, everybody got their camera out. You know what I mean? Watching you, watching this building burn or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's where Kanye is at. They let him build it, they build it, they build it, they build. So he got to like a point where everybody knew that he needed help. The people around him, the people that was close to him, know that he needed help. Just like another famous, you know what I mean, R&B crooner, you know what I mean, that needed help for years, needed help for decades, and not one dime of that money that was being spread around him ever got him the help that he actually needed until he ended up being imprisoned.
That was deep, Brother JRICH, when you start talking about the money and everything. Here's something that really disturbs me. And this is why in the UNIA we always preach in race first. And a lot of people say, man, you think that's racist? But, these people, I believe they're married outside of their race. And then they're disrespecting their race. They abuse their race. They pimp their race out. They don't really give back to their race. You know what I'm saying? I remember Chris Webber, shout out to Chris Webber, when he was with, I forgot who he was with. Maybe it was Nike or somebody. He said his tennis shoes were too high. And he went to Fila. It was something where he switched. And he was saying the tennis shoes was too high. People couldn't afford them. That's the subconscious that we have to have. That mentality to think about our culture, to think about our community, to think about the kids that's supporting us, to think and show and be an example. this brother's way out the norm, and you know, we gotta silence this. We gotta silence this dude. It's really bothering me because he has a voice that affects the youth. You know what I'm saying?
To me, the best way to silence him is, like I said, man, I don't click on no links for this dude. You know what I mean? No links. So you know what happened after about a day or two of all the like this buffoonery? They stopped popping up on my timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Because Google, Yahoo, whatever, it was just like, all right, he ain't interested in this. So it stopped popping up on my timeline. You know what I mean? So I don't click on it, man. I don't. The last time I played any of Kanye music, I think, is when he did Nas and what's his name albums back to back. You know what
Now
I mean?
that was a dope album. I give him that.
That was
That
that
Nas
was the
album
last.
was dope.
Yeah,
But
that was the
it
last
didn't
time I played
it
Kanye
didn't
music.
right, but it didn't reflect on Kanye because Nas was given the culture. The lyrics brought that out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
Kanye. Jay-Z made like a statement a long time ago or whatever. You know what I mean? And he was just like, whatever's in you, that money gonna bring it out. It's just like liquor. You know what I mean? The money gonna bring it out. So he was always this dude or whatever. But now, you know what I mean, he feels as though he has like the freedom, you know what I mean, to be
right,
who he is. You know what I mean? And when you think about it, you know what I mean, before she got like a little spot or a guest little spot on somebody's show, you know what I mean? Who was Candace Owens? She went out there and the same old thing, you know what I mean? I'm gonna say something outrageous, you know what I mean? Oh, that's in the work. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just keep building off of it, keep building off of it. But when I'm listening to her talk or when I see her talk, I see such rage in this
right.
woman. You know what I mean? Such rage in this woman. That's why I said, man, you know what I mean? I wonder who hurt this woman. You know what I mean?
She
Who hurt
probably
this
couldn't.
woman?
No brothers would talk to her probably back in the day, and now she's just lynching out. You know, she seems like she hadn't gotten a good man to pound that thing for a minute, brother. Cause she's, you know, we got to go in on him, Jay Rich. I ain't gonna hold no punches because that sister's disgusting, brother. That sister's disgusting.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, that
But
sister's disgusting.
the whole situation, man, it pretty much comes down to, you know what I mean. We got it. The real thing is we need to flip the script on. You know what I mean, and that is to use them as posters. You know what I mean, for mental health. We need to flip it on. You know what I mean? Like this is what this. I mean, because you look at some of the things this dude went off on what was it, Gap or somebody or whatever, because he wanted like the store to be set up a certain way if they was going to be selling his gear or whatever, and the display had to be like this, and the dude is going off in the store, and everybody looking at him like, man, this cat man got some issues. Like, yeah, he actually does. Like, you know what I mean? I hear what you're saying, and like the things like you said, man, he eating off of black money and disrespecting black people. He's eating off of black money and disrespecting black people. I believe it was one of the ones in one of his songs he was talking about how athletes, you know what I mean, get famous, get money, and then put a white girl on their arm. You know what I mean? But that doesn't apply to him. And it's a lot of other people out there, man, that feel the same way. You know what I mean? I can say it, but it don't apply to me. That applies to you. You know what I
Right,
mean? Because I'm Ye. I'm
right.
Ye. You know what I mean? It's too many brothers, man, dying. It's too many brothers dying, man, because they're not getting the help that they need. And this anger and this lostness, man, of just lashing out. You know what I mean? It's too many people, man, dying because of what, man? Because of what? You know what I mean? When we look at like some of like these shootouts that's going on in Baltimore, over what? Over
Right.
what? It can't be over like your house because you don't own any houses. You don't own any corners. You don't own any blocks. You don't own any stores. You know what I mean? You're not fighting. You're not out here dying because you know what I mean. You're trying to up your race. They
So you
have
said,
absolutely
so,
nothing to live for.
so you saying
And
Weebay on North and Fulton, he don't own that block he's slinging on, huh? He think he do, but he don't, huh? He don't
I
own
tell
it.
you what, I tell you what, man. You can drop Kanye off, man, on Green. What is
Green
that
Mount.
joint, man? Green Mountain, man. At about this time at night, man. and let that dude, you know what I mean, stand out there with his White Lives Matter shirt on and see what happens. You know what I mean? And I'm not even saying that people are going to jump him, beat him up, and attack him or whatever. But he's going to be able. But he's going to be in an environment where he's going to see his own people coming at him, and you know what I mean, setting him straight. Like, nah, man, you know what I mean. You're wrong with this. You know what I mean.
Right.
You're off with this. And I think the more that we have, and you know what I mean, that's one of the things that I appreciate about you. Whether we're on camera, off camera, on the phone, laughing, joking. If I'm wrong, you tell me I'm wrong.
Well,
And
I
the
gotta
more
do that a
people,
lot, Jay Rich. You be wrong a lot, but you know I love you, brother. You know I love you. No, I'm just messing with
but you know what I mean. Some
you.
people don't
We
have
gotta
that around. They have
you got to
yes men
hold
around.
each other accountable because I don't want you to, and I want you to treat me the same. Like, and I will say that about Kanye, but I think he's in a position now where he don't listen to anybody. You know,
No,
he's counting dollars and he's doing this. But you gotta, how much money do you need where you can, where you can't just say, damn, man, let me take a step back and look at what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying, and fix some things because I'm hurting the community. I'm not bringing them up anymore. That just wasn't funny to me. But I want to switch the subject. But go ahead. You was about
okay.
to say something? You was about to say
Okay,
something?
that's the reason why this dude needs to be dropped off back in the hood, so he can see the effect that he's having. He can see the people that he's actually affecting with someone like this stuff. That it's not just, you know what I mean, a camera that you're showing off for. Candace needs to be dropped off, you know what I mean, in the hood. She needs to have to, you know what I mean, to run to like the corner store to be able to
Mm-hmm.
grab something, to see the people that she's actually talking about, to be in contact with the people that she's actually talking about, the people that have like maybe two children or whatever that's working at, Foot Locker. As soon as they get off Foot Locker, they go into Amazon. They only get to
Mm-hmm.
see the kids like 3-4 hours a day. You know what I mean? These are the people that you're talking about. These are the people that you're disrespecting. The people that are actually out here grinding and working
That's
and
right.
trying to make a difference.
That's right. So what I want to do is because you touched up on something. Everybody always texts me while I'm live, but I appreciate y'all and love y'all. You, 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 you touched up on something about us killing each other in the hood. I want to go to this real quick. So hold on, Brother JRICH, real quick. I want to pull up something that is going to be alarming. So if you're around kids, you may not want them to see this. But we want to make sure that we cover it all here. Mississippi, outside a Dollar General, a young brother was shot and killed. The news report said that, which is conflicting, but news report said that it was young men following a car, waving a gun around. A driver had called the police and said, hey, these young guys are following me, they have a gun. Eventually he was trying to avoid them, and eventually they pulled out the way, and he kept on driving. Apparently the same kind of car was seen at a Dollar General. The police come up, and they murder the kid. My issue, first of all, is I don't want to go on if they had a gun or not, because we know and we've seen terrorists, and I'm talking about white people in this country going around with semi-automatics, going into a church, killing a whole bunch of people, and they walk away and just go to jail. This person or these group of young boys did not fire a gun at all. They didn't kill the person in the car, if they even had the gun. I'm not even going to say that. I really don't want to say that because we don't even know the facts. I don't even know if they had a gun or not. But if they didn't pull a gun out on you or what have you, why did you kill them? So when we go into these things, again, we don't know all the facts. My question is, where is the videotape? Where is the videotape? So I'm going to show you, and please, I'm sorry, but we got to keep it real. This is a picture of this young brother right here. I'm only going to keep it off long. Not long. I'm not going to keep it on long. I'm sorry. Shot down dead. So we got to see these images sometimes to make us realize and wake us up to what's going on. And before I bring Brother JRICH in, I want to pull up a news article of what's happening. Just released. I'm going to put it in the middle, see if I can make it a little bigger for you guys. Just released the information, released the footage, said an event organizer, JoJo Virgil. We don't want to guess. Bridget said. We don't want to put any false accusations on the police department. That's right. Just show us, and no one has to wonder what happened. Signs were labeled with phrases like justice for Jaheim, no justice, no peace, and the most important one I'm adding as I'm reading, release the video. Protesters aren't the only ones waiting for information into the incident. We are too. VLOX News has filed a public records request with the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation. The request was denied because this is still an ongoing investigation. To take a loss like this in the community is really hard. To hear a mother grieve like she did yesterday, I can't even out it into words, Virgil said. Man, that's deep. Brother JRICH, I'm going to bring you back in. I want to get your thoughts on this, my brother, because, and I like that article because no one's trying to just throw a false narrative out there. We're criminals, and every culture has criminals. But I do know this. Whenever we are close to being considered violent, they shooting. So even if they waved the gun, no one was killed. It didn't seem like they waved the gun or at the police. No shots were fired. So how is it that we had somebody run into a church, a black church, a white supremacist, and kill a bunch of people, and he walks out and they just lock him up? I can't remember. It's another incident where somebody was walking in a city just going around shooting people. He got locked up. Between one of them, they took the they took the white guy to get something to eat before they locked him up. So I want you to go. Which one was that?
The one in church. They took him to Burger King to get him some food.
Exactly. This guy walks into a church, kills all these people. You would think that as soon as I see him, bop, bop. But these young brothers, someone gets killed. The first thing I'm doing if I'm the police department, to ease the tension so we can move on, is show the video. Why is it taking so long, do you think? Do you think they had video? And even if they did and the brother had a gun, why is it that this shooting took place in your eyes and that shooting in the church did?
I think that this shooting took place because there is a knee-jerk reaction whenever young black men are involved. And by young black men, I mean by the age of 11 or 12, depending on how tall you are or how thick you are. You know what I mean? They automatically, you're always going to be considered an adult, even though you're not even thinking on an adult level. I think that this shooting is a knee-jerk reaction. And you know what I mean? Because we don't see like the video, and the only thing that we have to go on is, very few details. What I would like to point out is, at what point do we start to see over policing in certain neighborhoods to be actually detrimental to the health and security and safety of like these neighborhoods? Because this is not an isolated event. I don't know if you've seen the video of the young man. I think he was in California. He was just sitting in the parking lot eating his food. I think he was at McDonald's or Burger King or something. And the officer walked up, opened up the door, and was like, "Get out the car." Dude didn't know what was going on. So, and the officer pulled out a gun and started shooting. He pulled away. He's on life support. The officer got arrested for assault. I mean, he fired, I don't know how many shots at this cat. When the number one thing that I think that we need to do is to make like that like the poor people's movement. As long as, and I say this, let me tell you this before I get into that. There's a video on online of a white guy down south somewhere. He's standing outside of like this restaurant. He's standing outside of Walmart with a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. White guy, older white guy. All these people riding by, cussing them out. You're a disgrace to your race. You're ashamed. You should be ashamed. Such and such and this and that. We
Hold on, hold
matter.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, brother JRICH. Go back. Say that again. I lost you there. Start
Older
over.
white,
An
older
older
white guy
white person. Okay.
with a Black Lives Matter T-shirt.
Oh,
All
gotcha.
these white
Okay.
people are cussing them out. And here's my point. One woman comes up and talks to him and is just like, "Why are you wearing that?" He was like, "Because their lives matter too." She was like, "Yeah, well, go to Chicago and see how they treat each other. Go to Philly, see how they treat each other. Go to any one of these major cities and then come back and tell me how their lives matter." This is how they think. So if we really want change and we really want this over policing in our neighborhood, we have to start showing them that their innocent children are being shot and killed by the police just as much as ours are. Just as much as ours are. As long as we keep making it a black issue, it's going to be, oh, well, they kill each other anyway. That's
Mm-hmm.
because that's always their first excuse. They kill each other anyway. They're going to do that anyway. They're going to do this anyway. You know what I mean? And it's like they use our own behaviors against us. When the number one, nobody murders more people in this country than white people. That's
No
a fact.
doubt.
You know
Without a
what I mean?
doubt.
But how much of that do you actually see on the news? You only see us killing each other. You know what I mean? So if only thing that you did was watch the news and never picked up a newspaper and never read any statistic or crime reports, you would think that we were the most violent people in this country when we're not.
That's right.
Right. And the police kill them at a much higher rate than they kill us. But as long as they only see young black boys being killed, it's okay to them because we're nothing but killers anyway. Once we start changing the narrative to say like these people are a harm to the community, to every community, not just our community, every community. And then we have to start showing them more of them videos of like this young boy in California that's on life support right now. Because that's the only time that they're going to see their son. They're going to see their nephew. They're going to see their daughter. Just like during like some of like these riots when like these college kids was out trying to protest against, you know what I mean, out protesting, and they seen their sons and daughters getting hit with tear gas. They seen them getting shot with these rubber bullets. They seen them being tased just by asking the police a question. They seen this old guy get knocked to the ground and get a concussion in his head, bleeding out on the concrete because he wanted to ask the police a question. When we start showing them these images again and again and again, I guarantee you laws will start changing. Laws will start changing because now that's my daughter. That's my son. But as long as it's them people, those people over there, they don't care about nothing anyway. You know what I mean? They don't care about nothing. They don't care about life. You know what I mean? Our mothers don't grieve. Our fathers don't grieve. Our fathers don't cry. Our fathers don't hug their sons. That's the narrative that they have. You show me any TV show where the black man actually comes home, you know what I mean, greets his family and hugs his son.
That was deep. That was deep. And you can look at it that way, and it all goes back to that White Lives Matter T-shirt. This isn't a joke.
It's not
Like
a
you,
joke.
it's not a joke. It's nothing to smile about and make. It's no statement that you can make when you're talking about somebody who's died. This goes through history because it may not even be this situation. It's a blessing, and we're waiting for all those that's listening now, all our UNIA members. If everything goes right next week, we'll be doing our own premiere at Next Act Cinema of the movie Emmett Till. It will be free. Uh, it will be free. So everybody in the Baltimore area, if you're interested, the tickets are going to go out to the UNIA paying dues members first. Then, everybody else will be welcome to come. And, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have a nice event. I'll post that as we get closer of the day and everything like that. But it's pretty much going to be a go. You can go in. We just ask that when you're there, buy popcorn or something and patronize the black businesses. And that's what it's all about, making sure that we go and support the black businesses. And we look forward to doing more business with them. Next Act Cinema in Righteoustown, on Righteoustown Road in the Baltimore area. But you hit it right on the button. It's that alone. That it's been going back since way past then. They've been hanging us and everything. This isn't a joke, you know what I'm saying? And that's what really pissed me off about him. You gotta know. and whoever's around him. And here's a brother that I got a lot of respect for, Pusha T. I don't care how close you are to me, how much I need you, how much good business we in. There's a point where it crossed the line where I got to step away from business and even friendship unless you come to some kind of agreement that you need help or you're an asshole or whatever the case may be. Because that's messing up my brand. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Pusha T. Love you to death, brother. But I got to get on you too. You still rapping about selling drugs. You ain't been in the hood hustling in a minute. Come on, brother. We got to hold everybody accountable. You know what I'm saying? But just for him to be supposed to be in politics and things of that nature, nothing's going to change or whatever the case may be until we start doing things to move the needle. You know what I'm saying? What you laughing at?
I almost forgot about the whole politics thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it all ties in. It all ties in. You know what I'm saying?
And I guarantee you, man, most of the people, man, they showed up, man, they showed up just to see, like, man, what is this fool going to do? You know what I mean? And that's sad that, you know what I mean, that you've become a circus. You've become a circus, and I know I seen an article that Jay-Z and somebody else tried pulling him to the side, tried talking to him, but yeah, man, yeah, they're not mental health professionals, man. Somebody needs to get him. My first thought, I really felt empathy for this brother, man. I felt sad for him because I'm like, where's his family at, man? He
Talk
doesn't
about
have
Yang.
anybody. Yeah, he doesn't have anybody in his family that he respects enough that they can come to him and be like, brother, you need to go and talk to somebody. You need to, you know what I mean? You need to take a break away from all of this and just go away, you know what I mean, for like 30 days, man, and get yourself together. Nobody in your family. That's why I said, man, you know what I mean? All they got is money. All they got is money. He don't have support. He apparently, you know what I mean? Maybe he don't have support. Maybe he don't have that family. Maybe he don't have like people around him that's going to get him what he needs. All he got is money.
It seems to me when you take it to that level, it seems to me you don't have a soul. It seems to me you
Amen.
don't have a soul because I just can't understand or either fathom doing that. But here's the deal. I bet you he won't talk about that Jewish community anymore because they shut his ass down. Let's call it what it is, JRICH. And he probably ain't say nothing bad, but he said enough and they shut his ass down.
He strikes me as the type that will do it again.
I bet you they shut his ass down though. I bet you they shut his ass down. And that's what we don't do. We don't shut people down like that. We tolerate it. And that shows our weakness. Go ahead, say something.
Oh no, man. I think that we need to come together, man, and bring this brother in, man, reel this brother in, man, and get him like the help that he needs, man, and show him. Sometimes, man, you just need a hug, man. Sometimes you need a hug. You know what I mean? You don't need your people coming at you, man. Sometimes you need a hug. After you get that hug and you get yourself together, then you know what I mean? Then we go in on them. You know what I mean? Like, yo, man, you can't go back to doing what you was doing. But here's the thing about them shutting him down that I always find funny. Because I've been blocked on Twitter now for about 3 months now.
For what? Oh Lord. We talk about you. What did she post, rather?
I posted a thing saying that the people that are resisting, you know what I mean, aren't the extremists. It's the people that say it's our way or no way is the extremists. And they banned me.
Oh, you can't petition that?
Yeah, I petitioned it. And they told me that, you know what I mean, that they're reviewing my thing or whatever. But until then, I can't get into my account or anything else. Which is funny because you can still retweet the stuff that I have on my timeline. I just can't access my account. Yeah,
wow.
But here's the thing. E. I could have went on there and been like nigga, 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 nigga.
Bingo.
and absolutely nothing would have happened.
Bingo.
Well, I would have went on that joker and started saying, the English have a word for cigarettes. That's called they call cigarettes faggots. That's what the English do. That's what they call their cigarettes. But in America, it's called something else. Now, if I was to say that in that context, you know what I mean, they'll probably already stop that live stream. You understand? You
Right.
know what I mean? But as long as it's directed towards us, it's all good. You can go on that Joker, man, and call whoever you want a porch monkey. As a matter of fact, I will go so far as to say that you can be sitting in your house in upstate New York, writing a manifesto on how you're going to go up to Buffalo and kill a bunch of people in a grocery store, writing your manifesto for months and posting it and sharing it with people and telling them what you're going to do. You go and buy your gun. You tell them that today is the day, and not one thing will happen with your account. They will not shut your account down, and you can live stream yourself going into a grocery market and killing about how many people was it in Buffalo that this dude killed? That people knew about for months.
It's
How
crazy.
many of his accounts got shut down? How many of them did they lock down? When did he get banned? You can be in I think it's was it Texas? You can be in Texas, get into an argument with your grandmother, be in the outs with like your family, and go online and post about how you're going to go and kill all these people at the school because you're mad at your grandmother. As a matter of fact, you're going to start with your grandmother, and then you're going to go to the school and kill all of these people because you're angry with your family. And again, you can do this for months. And on the day you turn 18 and you're legally able to go and buy your weapon, despite the hundreds of people that have already called the police, despite the people that have already called and tried to tag your post saying that this guy is talking about shooting up people, they do not shut down your account. But you say one thing bad about like the Jewish, you're done. You say something about COVID, you're done. You say something that they don't like, you're done. But you can sit there and you can plan out mass murders online, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and not one thing will happen.
You know, then Brother Kevin said he got banned 3 separate times for speaking the truth. Whew. I'm surprised I ain't get banned yet. I
Man, they will shut you down, man. And if it's in print, man, and they can do their little thing, and you say something that goes against their narrative, that goes against whatever it is, you know what I mean, that they're pushing, you know what I mean. Disney has an agenda, you know what I mean. Disney
without
has
a
like a
doubt.
very strong agenda. And if you go, you know what I mean, you hop up on that Joker, man, and you start talking about like their agenda, man, you getting kicked off, man. They nah, nah.
You know what's real important that I think we need to start looking at is podcasts like Dr. Ma'at, um, podcasts like Sonetta Studios, when he's kicking the knowledge, podcasts like yourself, seriously joking. We need to get you back up and running. We need to start controlling our own media. Um, Dr. Boyce Watkins has something called I forgot the social media thing. I'm sorry, Dr. Boyce, but he has a social media platform now that's like Facebook. Black Enough. It's called Black Enough. You know what I'm saying? But it's like BLAKENFUFF. NUFF, something like that. Whoa. Um, Black Enough. NUFF people. But we need to start doing our own media. We need to start controlling our own narrative. And that's
Mighty
what we're gonna be.
networks.
That's the Almighty Networks, yeah. Where we can have our own social media, our own Facebook, our own Twitters, our own TikToks, our own YouTube platforms, our own television shows, and where we support that. And I'm talking about straight UNIA. When I say straight UNIA, I'm not talking about BET. I'm talking about Garveyite. I'm talking about we going in. It's nothing but pure black. We can be truthful, and we don't have to worry about people banning us because we're speaking our own truth, and we can start getting our own narratives, and that's very important. And I'm telling you, it's a blessing being the UNIA because we're starting to push that and get our media platform on. So, it's just very important that we control our own narrative so we don't have to worry about getting blocked when we speak the truth. You know what I'm saying? Here we are on somebody else's platform, another culture's platform, trying to be a voice so somebody can hear us when we need our voices to be heard by ourselves, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. When we speak, we need to hear it first,
Right.
then everybody else. I would have loved for Tom Bryan. Brian, what? Now all of a sudden, now you know what I mean. He didn't stop talking. I forgot his name. He's the one that sued Comcast when he was getting ready. He was going to start. He was going to be one of the first people to have his own network, all black network, um, and broadcasting and everything else. Like Brian something. I think his last name is Brian. He's a comedian, and they shut him down. And I wish that money, because I think he ended up winning his lawsuit against him. I wish he would have took that money. I mean, he still can, and start up his own network, like you just said. You know what I mean? Start up a black Twitter. You know what I mean? Call it
Right.
whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? But give like voice to like your own people. And I think that it's very important to them to make sure that we are unable to share ideas, because when you look at man, I can't stand when I start forgetting names. The young brother, man, Panther, died, man, before he could even get 21 up in Chicago.
Oh Jesus. They did the movie on him, right? I don't know why,
Yeah.
but this is unacceptable.
You
We
know,
forgetting his name.
why was he killed? He was killed because of his organizational skills, and he was able in his message.
And
He was,
uniting people, uniting gangs.
that's why he was killed. This man didn't have a gun. This man wasn't talking about,
Fred
you know what I mean?
Hampton.
Fred
Fred
Hampton.
Hampton. Yep.
Fred,
Thank you,
Fred,
brother Kevin.
Fred Hampton didn't. What riots did he start? What killings was he behind? But they murdered him. And you
Byron
look at all.
Allen was the first one. I'm sorry, brother James, as you was trying to
Mhm.
mention. Byron Allen.
Thank you, Brian Allen. Yes. And then when you look at most of like these nameless Black Panthers that are still locked up in prison 40 years later, that never pulled the trigger, never stabbed anybody. They're in prison and they're in solitary confinement simply because of their ability to reach and touch people and share ideas and able to organize. Me and Noob were talking about this, man, and we was just going down the list of names of people that they will never let out of prison, not because of any crime that they actually committed, but because of their ability to bring people together. And in our community, that makes you a very, very dangerous person. If you
Yes,
are
sir.
able to bring people together with ideas that go against what it is, the narrative that they will have us in. If you are talking about bringing people together and raising them up, when you start talking about shared economics, whereas, you know what I mean, of group economics, you got to go, man. You have to go. When you start talking about, oh man, there's an opportunity in Baltimore for us to buy up like the whole block, you know what I mean? Flip these houses and rent them out, you know what I mean? To give like some of like these families that are actually working where both parents are struggling, you know what I mean? To pay rent, to give them affordable housing and an opportunity to buy a house and have a stake in the neighborhood where now they actually care about the neighborhood because they actually own something there. You got to go. They're not having that. They're not allowing that to happen. They will shut you down. They will, man, they will send drugs over to you. You know what I mean? If they can't get you with the drugs, they're gonna send kids over to you. They can't get you with the kids, they're gonna send women, they're gonna send men. They're gonna do whatever it is they can do to get dirt on you to shut you down and get you up out of there. And if that don't work, then you might, you know what I mean, be like, I don't know, the day before you go to testify or whatever, you get called into like some little crime in the alley, and next thing you know, they said you committed suicide. You know what I mean? Any old thing or whatever, man. And it's crazy because they do this stuff and they do it right out in the open, and then they name airports after these people like Dulles. You know what I mean? And you're thinking like, yeah, I'm flying out of Dulles. You never think like Dulles. Who was Dulles? This the dude that killed Patrice Lumumba. Wow. Like this is amazing. they build national monuments for people that do things like this. You know.
Yeah, man, it's sad. Dr. Ma'at, shout out, please support our platform, Truth to Power. She was on Fox Soul. I guess it's a Fox outlet, and it was she had texted me one night. It was real late. I was like, what's Dr. Ma'at texting me? I was I don't know if I think I was kind of knocked out, and she was asking me for the businesses that Marcus Garvey had did. You know what I mean? So I gave her a list, from the steamships, 3 boats, from the restaurants, you know what I'm saying? And we went down grocery stores and everything. I was going in. Right, yeah. She went in and she was telling them that because on that show, because there was some sisters out there saying how much we needed white people. And I'm like, I'm talking about business owners, nonprofits and stuff. And I'm like, look, those situations are cool. If you feel in some kind of way that, you know what I mean? That if you feel in some kind of way that, you want to get grants, you have a nonprofit business. Yeah, use the government for that. But Marcus Garvey started all that stuff without any grants. He took the old school and the only approach possible, uniting black people so we could take care of each other, donate, support each other. He had black people investing. And we got to get back there. We got to start believing in ourselves. It's just so crazy how we can go from one topic to the other, and it all stems back to the same situation we had. It's crazy.
Absolutely, man. And yeah, man, like you said, man, and that's what it all comes down to, because if we were a tight knit community, and you know what I mean, and the Candace came up, you know what I mean, so many sisters would have already snatched her up and pulled her to the side and was like, yo, man, you're not on code, you know what I mean, you got to stick to the script, you know what I mean. Any problems that we have within our own, we have to deal with it within our own behind closed doors.
You know what? The main problem I have with that, because sometimes that sister's dead on. We got to be you got to be very critical of your, like you were saying, you'll get on me, yo, no, you wrong on that. You know what I'm saying? You tripping. I'll be going, man, F this, bump you, like, no, calm down, I'll take care of it. You know what I mean? But we go in on each other, but it's with each other. She takes that and puts it out there to a whole nother outlet. If she would come in and talk all of that stuff to us, she'd be right on some things. Some sisters could educate her on some things. Her views might change, but she's the new Stacey Dash. You know what I'm saying? She's using that outlet, and Sambo, Coon. You know what I'm saying? Let's call it what it is. Sambo, Coon, sellout. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But before we close out, JRICH, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start going over the old show. I'm going to get your point on that because I went solo on this one. Before I do that, y'all, hang on real quick. I got to pay the bills real quick, and I'm going to go in and I want to get you guys' opinion on the last show I did. Hold on one second. Support this company, y'all. All right, support that company, black owned. We got to get up there and we got to do it. This sister, now let me go into the situation real quick. I did the show on it last week. And it actually did pretty well, but I had some technical difficulties. My mic was muted for like 5 minutes. I hate when I do that. Brother AC saved me. Shout out to Brother AC from South Carolina. They're fighting for a skateboard park. I'm going to say skateboard park. I guess that's the best way to pronounce it. In the community, right across the street from my high school. It's called Easterwood. And so, of course, when being servants of the community in the UNIA, me and our sergeant at arms went down there to show them some support. It's two sides, so I'm going to play a couple of interviews, and then we're going to go and play something from James Torrance because he was called out. This is first Brother Doc Cheatham. Shout out to Brother Doc, former president of the NAACP.
In case you didn't know it, Penn North is not the Freddie Gray area. The Freddie Gray area is Matthew Henson, okay? Yes, North and Penn is where everybody's celebrating. Freddie Gray went to Matthew Henson Elementary School. Freddie Gray went to Carver High School.
Right.
Penn North had 5 buildings hit. We had 13 buildings hit in Easterwood. And I said to folks, Freddie Gray was a kid that I coached Little League with. And I told Freddie, I said, Freddie, you're not selling drugs in my neighborhood. But when Freddie died, I said to myself, one, I gotta build a park for the kids to play. Right now, if you go to the 1500 block of McKean, we built that park.
Let's go.
Okay? We built that park. It's there today. It is a pocket park. It's the biggest, cleanest, safest park in Baltimore City. Come check it out, see if I'm telling you the truth. I'm still in disbelief that Senator Antonio Hayes, yes, I call names, the commissioner, the commissioner of Recreation and Parks, who came to us and asked us to have it at Easterwood Park. We didn't have any thoughts of going to Easterwood to do it. And to work as many years as Stephanie Murdoch and their group and my group and our group have fought to give our children something great. That we would have a state senator and a director of Recreation and Parks go against our children. No wonder he had problems with the Screechy Boys. Okay?
Yeah.
Folks,
Go ahead, Brother Doc.
I told my
They don't even care.
I don't care.
I told my neighborhood 2 weeks ago I would give my life for the skateboard park. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead, Doc. You Doc.
We here with you, Doc.
Y'all sick. Y'all some sick people who trying to take that
If
away
we
from us.
can't fight for our kids, who can we fight for?
Yes. True. Yes.
And I'm saying the city has to reconsider the injustice that they are doing. If not, recall Antonio Hayes, because he's the culprit in all of this.
Get him out of here.
You know, folks, I live in what's called the Wild Wild West, and I'll close with this. We average 50 homicides a year for 7 years. I know with the park that we built 5 years ago, that unfortunately has my name on it, that we can turn things around in the city if we give our kids and our young adults something to do. This is something to do. Baltimore City, bring us a skateboard park. It will save lives. Thank you.
Stop playing with this man.
All right, so that was that one. Now, this sister, Brother JRICH, I'm sure you met her. She's running for Maryland delegate. She spoke, and she called out names, and she called out City Councilman James Torrance, who I had on my show. Brother James, before I play this, he played something as well. He sent me something to shut down everything they doing. We want to be honest here. You know, we want the truth to be told. So I'm going to give both sides of it. But first, here's the sister that called Brother James out. She's running for Maryland delegate. Salika Bazemore. Salika Bazemore is her name, correct?
Bazemore.
Here she goes. She's powerful, though. She's powerful.
Candace is here. I'm the nominee to be our district's delegate for Maryland 40. And whatever excuses they've given you, I'm here to put some truth into the atmosphere. And while I will not rest until that $500,000 goes and build that park. And I'm going to tell you why. Because no more than 3 weeks ago, at a meeting, after that meeting, that community meeting, I asked James Torrance, who is the city council, what's going on with you guys reneging to young people? It's bad enough that they have lost hope in our leadership. You need to tell me, what was your deciding factor to renege on something that the money has already been allocated on, that the city council has already voted yes on?
There you go.
And that every single entity in this city gave their word on.
Go ahead.
And the only thing that was left was implementation. And surprisingly, but not so much, the response to me, Miss Bazemore, you know, we gotta be careful because we don't want to bring the drugs over to that park. How dare you, James Torrance? How dare you, Antonio Hayes?
Call them out.
Is that how you look at our young youths in our city of Baltimore? That black men, black young women cannot have something recreational without drugs and chaos, when that is the very thing that they need to avoid the streets and the drugs and the chaos. So guess what? Oh no, we here today, Mayor Brandon Scott.
Call them out.
We're here today, James Torrance.
Call them out.
We're here today, Eric Costello. We're here today, Antonio Hayes. We're here today, Frank Conaway. We're here today, Mary Wells. We're here today, Melissa Wells. Let me get that right. Gotta make sure I'm calling your name right.
There you go.
Okay? We're here today, Ampre, the yes man. That we're not gonna set back Miss Bazemore. And Kenny Bazemore, two-time USBA boxing champion, National Golden Glove champion, two-time
Show them hands.
IBO champion, 81 Olympic trials, $250,000 strolls champion, and I was the first female to become a sports manager in the entire nation.
There you go.
The first female to break in that all-men's sport of boxing. So, baby, let's put the gloves on.
There you go.
Because guess what? Oh, we gonna get the part. Oh, we gonna get the part, or we going to court. Now, let me see if that money that has been earmarked, I repeat, earmarked. Let's see if y'all gonna choose the right decision, because I'm about to hit your bank. I'm about to hit your bank, because guess what? No more broken promises. We cannot do this to our youths. We in this to win this, you guys.
Wow, so as you can see, that was real powerful. That sister had me a little, woo. I didn't say I'm voting, I don't deal with the politics. I'm going to keep that out. I know who I'm voting for. But she was powerful. So, Brother James Torrance, as I said, that park is right across the street from my high school. He's younger than me. He went to my high school. He lives and is from around that community. And he hit me up. He said, Brother Everett, don't fall for it. I said, well, look, man, what's going on? Because it don't sound good. First, they calling out your name. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, yeah, go ahead. I'm like, wait a minute, I think I know this brother. It's James Torrance. He was on my show. Good brother, he's saying. But when you get in politics, you know, I like to say, have we heard from you? Have we done this? Have we done that? What's real ironic, tomorrow he invited me to a community cleanup. I'll be up there, Brother James, and we can rap a little more. I got 2 cleanups, by the way. So real quick, one on Emerson Village and one on North and Penn. For anybody who wants to volunteer, do the work, don't talk it. So we're gonna be out there cleaning up. But he said that there was a little bit of propaganda. He mentioned the white sister who I was pointing to in the whatchamacallit, and he said, hey, the funds are there. We're going to use the funds, but all of them don't live in that community. The community wants some things fixed first. Those people that want the skate park, and you know, a lot of those guys jump from skate park to skate park. You know, they may go to this skate park and then they may go to this skate park, but it's not necessarily the people in the community. They may want the skate park, but they want some things done. I said, look, you guys send me something because it's not looking good for you, and I at least try to show your side, but right now I'm all with them. So he sent me this, and then after that we can build JRICH before we close out, and let me hear what you have to say. But this was deep. He went in on this. This is good. This is good for his side.
Everett Park is receiving some upgrades, but it's different than the initial plans that were proposed.
Yeah, First Parks and Recreation said a new skate park would be configured along with other improvements in the space. Now that's being put on hold for some other renovations. And WMAR 2 News' Brittany Werner took a tour with the facility organizers, and they talked about the proposed plans.
A new playground, new walkways, and more recreational outlets are all proposed in this new plan, making it less of an eyesore and more enjoyable for everyone. A green space sitting on 7.4 acres of land in the heart of West Baltimore, right across from Carver Votech High School.
There are only 2 swings that are operative.
Carver High.
And, the ground, the turf needs to be repaired.
The park was built in 1910, and although it's somewhat useful, there's a long list of serious repairs that need to be addressed to make it safe.
I graduated 17 years ago from Carver Votech, and as a person who serves in city government now as an elected official, this park looks exactly the same as it was 17 years ago.
James Torrance, who's the councilman of District 7, where the park sits, says it's the safety issues that need to be addressed first.
So we need to bring up to ADA accommodations to make sure that we're addressing the needs of the community.
Originally, people were told there would be a skate park configured inside the park, and organizers say that's still part of the multi-layered plan, but the more important repairs are priority.
It means that we're just responding to what the community members ask us to have prior to a skate park.
Zane Cypress, who runs the Omega Baltimore Foundation at the Easterwood Recreation Center where the park sits, says the last repair on the park was a basketball court almost 10 years ago.
Everything's a hodgepodge. No massive repair. That's unacceptable in this area.
Things like broken sidewalks, a new playground, and the fence that encloses the park just scratched the surface of the investment that's set to be made there. Something organizers and neighbors alike are anxious for.
I'm going to be excited because everything is going to be up to date, up to par.
Now, this is a multifaceted project, but what organizers say is most important is that the park is brought up to safety standards first. Brittany Werner, WMAR 2 News.
So, the community seems like they're cool with the park, but it seems like they ain't pressed for the park yet. They want the swings. They want everything upgraded. I'm going to tell you how crazy it is. The school is right across, the park is right across the street from the school. Us Negroes, we used to cut school and go right across the street and play ball. So that's Baltimore City Public Schools for you. They don't, but that's another story for another day. But what are your thoughts on that, JRICH? Because it seems like when we talk about politics, we talk about propaganda and we talk about things like this. On one hand, it's one story. On the other hand, it's another story. And who gets caught in between? The people. You know what I mean? What's your thoughts on both sides?
I think that it's a sad situation, and from the Miss Bazemore and the other brothers' opinion, I can't really blame them for going in the way that they did, because This isn't the first time certain things have been promised and been laid out that we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and the money is there. Then all of a sudden, you don't see anything. You know what I mean? They brush it off and be like, oh, well, such and such and this and that, and all of a sudden, the money that was set aside for your neighborhood, you know what I mean, is going towards, you know what I mean, something for downtown Baltimore. You know what I mean? Going down for something for like the tour district. You know what I mean? The tourist district. You know what I mean? Because and as I'm watching this and I hear them and I you know what I mean, I hear what you're saying. You know what I mean? We got like a lot of like safety issues that need to be brought up. But if you're working on the park, you're working on the park. Well, all that stuff can't be done at the same time. Why is this one major thing being held up for this over here when you can be doing it all at the same time? You know what I mean? This over here, like the things that you need to get done right here, it's being done back there. So that's my feeling on it. But it's sad because if there was nobody else there champion and bringing the media in and um bringing light to like this thing, then I think that money probably, you know what I mean, would be like, oh well, we couldn't find a contractor to come and do this. I mean, because they always got some type of technicality. And next thing you know, the whole thing just gets swept underneath the rug. The park never goes on, and so on and so forth. A major, and I think I brought this up before because it just annoys down the out of me. The Obama administration gave the city of Baltimore $900 million to improve its transit. So people be able to get not only around the city, but it helped them improve, get out of the city so that they can get better jobs and better resources.
When did he do this? Because I ain't seen, I
That
haven't
is
seen the
because
effects of it.
that is because Governor Hogan gave the money back and said we're not doing it. So it's a reason why you never seen the effects of it. And it's a reason why you can get all around Baltimore City, but try to get out of Baltimore City on mass transit. It's a whole nother issue. It's a whole nother issue trying to get out of the city than it is trying to get around. But that's just an example of how money is set aside for something and you never really see, you know what I mean, the end result. Excuse me.
We're about to close out, JRICH. Hold tight. Don't die on me, brother. Don't die on me. Don't die on me, brother. Don't die on me. Yeah, man. This was a powerful show. And again, the closing out, we talked about the Sambo and the Coon-Ye, and we talked about propaganda and politics. And then that's why I wanted to go back and play that, because our community, we get caught in the mix of all of that. You know what I'm saying? We got to really understand politics. We really got to understand what's going on, and we got to be active. In our UNIA training, Marcus Garvey says, you need to know every pastor in your community. You need to know every politician in your community. You need to know who every police officer in your community. We need to be active. While we're in foreign land. You know what I'm saying? We have to be active to show our rights and things of that nature. So it's really funny that all of this is going around. And it's a blessing, being the president of the UNIA, for that brother to call me. You know what I'm saying? And hit me up and send me that video. And that shows something. That shows that we're doing positive things in the community. That shows we're working. And that shows that we got a voice. And that means something. But I'm going to let you close on out, Brother JRICH. Just on your thoughts on the show and everything else.
I think that as a community, once someone steps out of the fold of the community, then we have to either be able to work together to bring them back in online, or we have to, cut that person off. Now you could take that as Kanye, you could take that as Herschel Walker. I mean, it's a long list. It's a long list of people. Whatever that we could be naming.
Oh Lord, Herschel, that goddamn. I'm gonna do a show.
Don't waste your time on this.
I'm about to do a show every week called Sambo of the Week. But go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Then we need to remove ourselves from these people, man. And when I say remove ourselves from these people, then we just don't we don't give them the likes. We don't click on their news stories or any of this other stuff, man, that gives the media, you know what I mean, any form that we're interested in anything that they're doing until they fall back in line. And by fall back in line, I mean raise first. And that we need to come together and bring our resources together to build up, you know what I mean, to build up us, to build up a safe space for us, to, you know what I mean. I don't really care like how many more kids, you know what I mean, this rapper over here has, or this TV personality than has, you know what I mean. I don't care, you know what I mean. What I care about is, you know what I mean, what are you doing in like the community? um that's what I care about. You know what I mean? I don't care about how many kids you got. I don't care about this and all this other stuff, because none of that is getting us anywhere. All that is just a distraction. It's all a distraction. I don't listen to any music, man, that's going to, you know what I mean, teach my grandsons and glorify prison.
Right.
I'm not listening to it. You know what I mean? I'm not listening to any, you know what I mean, anything that's going to teach them, you know what I mean, that the only way that you can show masculinity, you know what I mean, is to go to prison. You know, no, I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? And we need to come together with that same mentality. You know what I mean? All together to be like, no, man, you're not going to continue to treat us in such a way. And all these people over here that's talking to us over there, I don't know who that person is. They don't speak for us.
That's right.
We have to develop our own leaders from within our own communities that will actually voice the opinion of the people within our communities. And like you said before, we have always said, hey man, once you get into like politics and you get on that city seat, and this is not directed towards anybody in general, you know what I mean, but it's just a blanket statement. Although you have a bunch of people blowing up your phone, you know what I mean? You're young, you got into a position that nobody thought that you would get into. So now you're now your neighborhood, you know what I mean, is looking for you to do something in the neighborhood. This person is looking over there do for you to do over here. But you also have to understand that the corporations are coming at these people with money, with real money, with money that you and I will never, you know what I mean, will probably never see. You know what I mean? They're coming at them, and they're promising them these, you know what I mean? And we can do this, and we can do this, and we can do this. We have to start from the ground level, raising and training our children to be the leaders that we need them to be, that will be able to resist these types of things. To be like, nah, man, how is that going to help my community? How is
Hold
that going to
on.
help?
Hold on, brother Javis, because you flowing right now. I got to give you this. I got that from Dr. Mott. That's hard. And I want you to close out, finish up, but I had to say this because this really hurt my heart. I went up to BCCC. The UNIA, we have established a college recruiting program. And I'm emailing. I even got brothers that I know that work in the universities, and they've been struggling to get me just to speak to the kids. I said, bump this. I'm going to go up there, Baltimore City Community College. Spoke to a couple of kids. They didn't even know who Marcus Garvey was. They didn't know anything about Marcus Garvey. I'm like, what? Shout out to our first assistant PG, Raymond Duguay. He gives us information, promotional information. I'm sorry, and I pass out some strong things, 10 things about Marcus Garvey. I pass out our brochures. I pass out, our flyers, and I was talking to the kids, and I'm like, man, you never heard of the flag? It's like, yeah, I think that's something race first movement flag, or the Black Panthers flag. I'm like, what's the flag entitled? RBG flag. Man, the flag is entitled the official flag of the UNIA. Don't get it twisted. I had on my shirt, I'm like, these are our colors. We introduced this, and you don't even know who Marcus Garvey is, and you saying you rocking the flag. Some of them didn't even know about the flag. And so while we talking about how we got to instill this in our children, I'm asking everybody out there now that we got to start demanding from our HBCUs, from our community colleges, from all these institutions that we call HBCUs, but really run by white establishments that don't teach our culture. You know what I'm saying? We're learning Greeks. We pledging Greek. Greeks are the ones that conquered Kemet. You know what I'm saying? You're branding yourself with the Greek, but the UNIA symbols are Kemet symbols. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry I had to just go in on that because I was so hurt, Brother James. And I just made it a pledge. Not only are we going to work on the colleges, we need to instill in our children and go into these high schools, in the middle schools, elementary schools. You know, in our pledge it says, and I promise, that our children will be instilled with the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
Huh? Where
I need to say that again. And that UNIA pledge to the flag. I promise that our children will be instilled with the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
Right, only right here?
Globally, my brother. Globally. Globally, brother. Around the diaspora. You know what I'm saying? I gotta let them know we take that thing seriously. And the pledge starts, I commit my body, mind, and spirit. So we don't play around. But go ahead, brother, because you're going to have me try and close out. I'm ready to go in on these people. You know what I'm saying? What the PG say, you either Garveyite or a parasite. Real talk. Stop rocking our stuff and you ain't even teaching the truth and where it's from and what it's about. But go ahead, because I'll be talking. Finish up, JRICH. My ribs touching.
And finish, man. We just need to cut these people off, man, and get them out of our community and let everybody know that they don't represent us. They don't represent our views or anything else. The other thing is the most influential people within our communities, man. We need to get them more involved and get them in front of like a mic, get them in front of like the people, man, to spread like a message. We have a lot of people, man, that are very good, man, and delivering messages. They're great orators and great facilitators. And we just need to do more within our own community. Like I said, when I look at these two people, to me, it just shouts out how much, you know what I mean, mental health is actually needed within our communities. There's a lot of trauma that went on and goes on within our communities behind closed doors that nobody wants to talk about that we need to address. And in the end, yeah, man. The other thing is, man, that we need to focus when we start talking about the police shootings and police killings. We can't let them just isolate it as to being like we're the only ones that's being killed. The police at this point, to me or whatever, just seems like a public health hazard in a lot of cases. When they are able to walk up and execute any citizen, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, with impunity, you know what I mean. They're more of a danger to the community than they are, you know what I mean, a benefit in some cases. They have their benefit, but I think that that it absolutely positively needs to be reevaluated. And that's one of the big things about Baltimore being able to control like their police force or whatever and bring about accountability. And with that said, you know what I mean, we always have to remember that there's only one way that we're going to, you know what I mean, be able to bring ourselves out of the situation that we're in. And that's to have one aim, one goal, one God. That's it. I think you're muted, bro.
I had some Indian food today, brother. Couldn't find anything black owned at that time. You know, we worked. I got gas. I had to mute myself. All right. Closing out. Hang on, JRICH. I want you to hear this because this is an event. Hopefully you can show up to. And thank you guys for tuning in. Again, this will be recorded. I know we haven't been pushing it a lot because we just started back. So I can't wait to see how the views look tomorrow. As you know, every time we go live, the views usually get better as we promote it through our media outlets. So what I wanted to do real quick was just tell you guys thanks for tuning in. Please do me a favor, whatever you do, hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. It's very important that we get this information out. Very important. You know, we have to get this information out. Our people deserve it. It's very important. So hit that subscribe button. There it is right over here. Hit that subscribe button down there somewhere if you're on YouTube. I want to say an event that I'm going to, and hopefully, Brother James, you can come. It is called the Concerning Violence and it's based off of Frantz Fanon, The Wrench of the Earth. And it's going to be a panel and question and answer. Sister Kimya invited me. It is Saturday, October 15th, which is tomorrow at 4 o'clock. So I definitely make UNIA orientation. It's at the building called the NOMU. That's NOMU again together. It's on 709 North Howard Street. Please go out. And I believe it's a documentary, and Lauryn Hill is actually narrating it. You know, I love me some Lauryn Hill. I love my hip hop community. So definitely, if you guys can come out and support, it'll be very, very good. We want to make sure that we get this information out and support a lot of the things that our people are doing in the community. Besides that, man, we're back. I got some powerful shows coming out. Got a good brother, president of the Buffalo UNIA, coming on, Brother Lon Blythe, man. He's like a phenomenal historian of the UNIA. And when he goes in hard. So be looking for him being on the show weekly. Also, my UNIA brother from Philly, Brother Kabir Hadas, he's going to be on, dropping some powerful information to you. And we're still going to be interviewing entrepreneurs. If you have a business and you like us to promote it, let us know. Also, if you'd like to be a sponsor on the show, hit us up. And on that note, man, one God, one aim, one destiny. I'm closing out. And, don't want to play that. I'll go out with this one. Peace and blessings. Hit that subscribe. Please share this powerful information. And I hope you enjoyed the first show back. Race first. Support the program.
Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power. Knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it.